first comedian coming to the stage actually has two names and comes all the way from Boca Raton, Florida. Put your hands together for Benjamin Jean.
Assalamu alaikum. In case you couldn't tell from my permanent yarmulke, I'm a Jew. I grew up in a conservative household in Michigan, and we didn't really have any rules growing up. We had one rule. It wasn't don't drink, it wasn't don't do drugs, it wasn't even don't murder anybody. It was simply do not date or marry a non-Jew. I was a great kid. I didn't drink, I didn't do drugs, and I didn't murder anybody. But I'll give you one guess what I did do. I dated and married a shiksa. Now you can imagine how terrified I was to tell my parents. See, telling your Jewish parents that you're marrying a non-Jew, it's like getting syphilis. Nowadays, it's not going to kill you. But you can be sure you're going to be medicating that shit for the rest of your life. Thankfully, the war of 2012 did not last long. And my wife and I were married this past June. We're currently expecting our first child. I see there are some dads out there, so you know, baby making is awful. Take one of the greatest extracurricular activities and turn it into a 12 to 14 hour a day job in a coal mine. Not only is the sex horrible, but it actually costs a fortune to make a kid. You always hear about how much it costs to raise a kid, never how much it costs to make one. Ovulation kits, pregnancy tests, thermometers, Xanax. That was great. I've accumulated more CVS points in the last 3 months than I have American Express points in the last 10 years. It's true. You know, I'm not used to people laughing. So, my wife converted before we got married, so we won't be having a muggle. And she actually, you know, I made a point to go to each and every class during the conversion process. Not because I'm a particularly supportive husband, but because I wanted to make sure that they didn't convert her too far. You see, they say that the converts become the most religious. Christian to Reform Jew, I'm okay with that. Catholic to right-wing Orthodox, make me go to synagogue every Saturday and fuck through a sheep Jew, that's not okay. We did have quite a few unbelievable conversations that stemmed from the conversion class. And one of them was about the similarities that we found between our two religions. Outside of the belief in one God, the biggest similarity was guilt. Both religions place a heavy emphasis on making you feel guilty. And I kept telling my wife, you don't realize how good you had it as a Catholic. Your guilt is far easier than ours. She kept telling me, what are you talking about? I said, Catholic guilt comes from God. Jewish guilt comes from your mother. And last time I checked, God didn't have your cell phone number and wasn't calling you every night to give you guilt about not accepting her dinner invitation for the last 365 days. I can't tell you how much this means to me on two levels. As a person, I've wanted to do this for a very long time. And as a Jew, You've just saved me a fortune on therapy. That's all the time I have tonight, guys. Thank you very much.